Oh, just want to say, at the end of the video, leave a comment, please. Thanks.
You've been involved in a high-speed car chase through the streets of New York.
Yeah, I mean, Harry still can't talk about it.
Tell us what happened.
Yeah, it was a blur. There were multiple near misses, near collisions. I mean, we were very nearly involved in something catastrophic.
A heavy reliance on the word near there, Meghan, as opposed to real or actual.
Right, and thank God it was near and not actual. Otherwise Harry would probably never speak again. Would you, Harry?
The first report of the incident, an official statement from Team Sussex, spoke of a 2-hour car chase through the streets.
Don't remind us.
Don't remind us.
Do you wish you could go back and tone down this earlier statement?
Why? I mean, probably the most terrifying experience of my whole life. A frightening experience of my whole life. I mean, 2 hours, right? Speeding through the Big Apple.
Which means New York.
We nearly died. We almost collided with so many different vehicles and pedestrians even.
Yes, and for 2 hours. Although Omid Scooby, in an interview, did seem determined to downplay the earlier hyperbole. And why do you think that might be?
Yeah, because after the shock, right? The sheer shock and horror of the scenario has probably abated. When you get back into calmer waters, yeah, there might be a revision when it comes to the recounting of the facts of the scenario. But, I think that's to be expected.
Yeah, you can't expect the real story to be exactly the same as the emotionally one. Emotionally one.
Don't push yourself, Harry.
Yeah, it's still very raw.
We were basically swerving in and around parked cars and obstacles, trying to get away from the pursuing
cavalcade,
of vehicles. I can't properly say. I was terrified. I really thought I was going to die in a car crash, age 41.
Well, I could have categorically assured you in advance that that was never going to be the case.
Oh, thanks.
Yes, and in that terror, you both took off your seatbelts.
We only wanted to get a good look. You can't discriminate against us for that.
There's no discrimination going on here, Harry. But I do want to get back to the details of this incident, this harrowing event. Because Eric Adams, New York City mayor, has dismissed the story as highly unlikely, which, as we know, is code for literally impossible.
Yeah, but have you ever considered that Eric Adams might be a racist?
Nevertheless, the story has been widely regarded as impossible. I mean, are you aware that there are 16,000 active cameras on the New York streets?
No. I was not aware of that.
Oh, is it as many as that? 16,000, you say?
Yes, we'll soon find out the extent of the chase, the duration and the level of danger involved, and then we'll be able to compare that against your original statement.
Yeah, but I think you'll agree that we've already spoken to the differences between, the original emotionally described story and the actual real one, full of facts and actualities, The one that comes along when other people start speaking out about what they saw.
Yeah, right. And it's important that you listen to us, hear us on this, because, when you're under as much stress and panic as we were, in direct aftermath of the incident, you can't really expect those individuals to give, a measured and, accurate account always of the details of that incident.
Exactly. Under those pressured situations, everybody lies.
No, Harry. We weren't lying. We don't lie. We just sometimes certain situations mean that we experience alternative truths, different truths.
I don't even know why I bother.
But this different truth is eerily similar to the tragedy that befell Diana, Princess of Wales. Which leaves us to ponder whether you've purposefully inflated the story, to bring echoes of that tragedy to your case in a crude attempt to gain public sympathy.
No, that's ridiculous.
No. I won't have that. Take that back.
Please, Harry, you misunderstand. I believe you, of course. I'm merely bringing you the perceptions of others, as undoubtable as they are.
Yeah, I don't always think that the perception of others is, particularly significant.
Well, okay then, it's their truth.
Oh, then carry on.
Well, they're not going to believe for a second that if your initial story of a 2-hour high-speed pursuit through the streets of New York is shown to be greatly exaggerated, that it wasn't exaggerated that way on purpose to bear a strong resemblance to the incident with Diana.
I think that if people see that rather than actually what happened, that's a judgment upon them and not a judgment on us, right?
I'll be honest, I lost you after the second exaggerated.
What I'm getting at is that it would represent a new low in public opinion if they were to come to that conclusion with all the evidence available. You must remember that terms like emotional truth and different truth and my truth and any such similar phrases have absolutely no currency in the real world.
Yeah, but that just shows that there's a desperate need for education, right?
They just call them lies.
Look, we were definitely involved in an incident, a car chase incident on the streets of New York City, definitely. Exactly what the extent was, how long it went on for, how serious it was, and all those other details. Well, I don't know anything about them. I'm not sure about them. But it certainly left Meghan and I shaken. Didn't it, Meghan?
It even put me off my vegan yogurt.
Which is a crying outrage, Meghan. But, judgment's going to be pretty brutal if it is discovered, if it's revealed that you overplayed this incident purposefully to make it sound more like the tragic incidents in Paris a quarter of a century ago. People can only be pushed so far.
What do you mean?
Well, because you can't get something for nothing in this world, Harry. Yes, you enjoy living in the fantasy of living in the fake world you've created. The one where you are deemed qualified to give mental health advice to groups of people based solely on the fact that you complain about your mental struggles both loudly and frequently.
I used to spend far too much
time laughing and being happy to properly concentrate on your mental health. Yes, we know, Harry, but I'm afraid this luxury that exists in your vacation away from sensible reality means that when reality comes crashing down, which it always does, it is more profoundly painful and acutely destructive for you than it would be for others.
We're an essential voice in the global conversation, on mental health, equitable vaccine distribution, the plight of women, equality in the workplace.
Yes, again, Meghan, but only in your heads, where I'm sure you're also still essential members of the royal family, thought leaders, influential media personalities and stars of a successful docuseries on Netflix and authors of brilliant books.
Yeah.
You're none of those things, but you do have a desperate desire to remain noticeable and of significance, meaning that the temptation to play dirty tricks and spin little stories might be too much to resist.
Oh, did I mention that they danced on the streets in South Africa when Meghan and I were married, just like they did when Mandela was released?
Did they? There have been a number of justified complaints about how the haters on the internet have been suggesting that your description of the car chase through New York may have been exaggerated.
Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, even Eric Adams, who's already casted doubt on the reliability of our story, well, even he said that only a 10-minute car chase through New York streets would be terrifying.
Indeed, but the problem comes with you saying 2 hours.
Yeah, well, that's what it felt like, maybe even longer.
Perhaps, but once again, there's a big difference between 10 minutes and 2 hours. And considering that there were no collisions and nobody was injured, people might conclude that you've applied the equivalent level of inflation to the severity of the incident.
Look, I don't know about any of that. I mean, literally, I don't know what those words mean in that particular order. But I will say, I stand by our original description of the event. And as Meghan says, we're not liars.
Yeah, but who's going to contradict us? I mean, look, who? I mean, who else could even have a similar, an equal level of understanding of our truth, of what happened, in that car in New York on that day? It's our truth versus what? Somebody else's opinion? Somebody else's belief in what happened?
The taxi driver, Sukhchan Singh, who actually did say that the incident lasted about 10 minutes.
Maybe he's got a weak internal clock.
Yeah, I know, but maybe he's like, a liar. I mean, you'll never know. I mean, really good liars can be liars for like years before they found out. And only then do you find out, but they've already done the damage and destruction. It's too late.
He also said, I don't think I would call it a chase. I never felt like I was in danger. It wasn't a car chase like in a movie.
Yeah, but have you ever considered that he might be like a paid Republican activist who's like been told to contradict our story to try and make us, Harry and I, look ridiculous?
Hardly a tricky task.
I think Meghan might have a point there. I mean, have we properly looked into the history of Sukhchan Singh?
Well, if he does have a dodgy past, I assume you'll be concerned with your security team's lack of judgment in placing you in his cab.
Look, I don't know how many times we've got to say this, but we were involved in a high-speed, 2-hour chase through the streets of New York City in a bright yellow taxi, followed by the paparazzi and their SUVs.
We find your lack of faith disturbing.
No. Once again, you misunderstand. I completely believe your otherwise difficult-to-believe story. I'm just putting forward the viewpoint of those who do not, and the reasons why they might not.
I'll tell you why. Their bigotry knows no bounds.
Look, if I was white and Harry was blonde, right, then we'd be believed. If instead we're accused of exaggerating an incident to make it sound like, have more resemblance to what happened to Diana. I mean, it's outrageous.
Right, but your desperate and over-the-top actions in recent years do suggest that you would be prepared to over-dramatize to remain relevant, make a big scene just to stay newsworthy. Rumours have been spreading that you two are no longer the nauseating pair of loved-up adolescents that you once were.
Oh, nonsense. And besides, I haven't been an adolescent since my early 30s.
Yeah, right. There have been a lot of rumors about us flying around, but as they say, believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. I bet you wondered how I knew about your plans to make me blue.
Indeed, but some of these rumours can be lent credence by
I see the bad moon rising. I see trouble on the way. I see earthquakes and lightning. Harry, will you shut up? Do you want to stay at the hotel again tonight?
Well, that's what I was getting to. It has been reported that Harry sometimes stays by himself in a hotel near the mansion you live in Montecito. Is that true? And if so, does it sound the death knell of divorce and the chorus of cries, Harry, saying, I told you so?
My Meghan likes her own space, okay? She's a big fan of privacy. Because sometimes she just needs to be alone with her thoughts and her yoga and her avocados. But of course, she keeps her ear out for the cries of the nannies who are looking after Archie and Lilibet. She's a very devoted mother.
Yeah, I am. I see them almost every day. And, right, like, I said to Harry from the very beginning, I need my own space sometimes. And I need to, recharge, And, I need to send her. I need to send her. Yeah, I've got a very low boredom threshold. So sometimes I just need to take a time out and do my best to rekindle some enthusiasm, for something that's gone a bit stale.
How romantic.
Yeah, but Harry can cope with it, he's a strong man.
Yeah, I'm a strong man.
Clearly. And there is word that you're renting a bungalow as well as a hotel room, Harry. Is that true?
Yes, I've got sore knees.
Says the strong man.
So what is it you do with your time, Harry, when you're estranged from your family? Holed up in a bungalow or a hotel room?
It isn't so bad, And besides, it gives me time to work on my creative endeavours.
Such as?
Don't get him started.
I even like a bit of sculpture nowadays, I'm doing a life-size sculpture of my Meghan.
Give you something to embrace when you're on a time out.
Yeah, well, we actually joked that I spend more time with the sculpture of my Meghan than I do with my Meghan, didn't we?
Yeah, and we even spoke about how that might be quite useful, further down the line.
And classy. So how's the sculpture looking?
No, not great at all.
Oh, well, a work in progress. Anything else?
Oh, and painting, of course, Sometimes there's nothing I like more than just getting out the easel, the canvas, the paints, and just painting. After I've centered, of course. Come on.
No, Harry, it's okay when you follow me, but, if I follow you, it looks like you're taking control and in charge, and that's not going to be happening.
Meghan? Oh, come on, Meghan.
Okay, all right.
And songwriting, of course. Actually got a steady flow of songs coming through at the moment, which is nice.
Such as?
Don't. I know why. I don't want to be alone. So I try to warm a heart of stone.
Oh, well, it's not too bad.
Can't deny that I've never had a home. So I cry, seeking shelter from the storm.
Oh, very poignant. So, Meghan, what have you been doing with your time away from Harry?
What have I been doing? Oh, God, mainly Kevin with a C. No. Only joking. I couldn't resist, because it's, he set me up so well.
Kevin!
It was a joke, Harry.
I didn't even let him borrow my strimmer.
What have I been doing? Well, I've been soul searching a lot, trying to find out what I want, what Meghan wants, and what she really wants, and what she wants to do with the rest of her life, So it's big time.
How spiritually enriching.
And there's so many things I want to do with my life. There's so many things I want to get involved in. So many things that I want a piece of. If you follow, and I need to plan this stuff out. I need to properly plan this stuff out. So I can't do that if I've got all the distractions of Harry coming up and asking me question after question all the time and wanting love and stuff. It's real distraction.
Well, maybe you should get Harry a nanny.
Yeah, don't be so ridiculous, Cobalt. All right then, but I get to pick her.
No.
Well, alongside this new living apart arrangement, we also haven't heard anything about your anniversary or any subsequent celebrations.
Yeah, but our anniversary is ours, and we like to keep it that way, It was the greatest day of our lives, wasn't it, Meghan?
Right. And I remember, it was a beautiful day, and I looked radiant. I looked really radiant, and I got out of the car, and a long flowing dress. I looked beautiful, and no man was meeting me there to walk me up the stairs. And I was walking by myself, and I just thought I thought there and then, the whole world, the eyes of the whole world are on me. They're on little old me, and I just thought, yes, sister, yes, you've done it, girl, you've done it.
Oh, that's what you remember most then, Meghan. And how about the ceremony?
Yeah, of course. I remember it well. I was standing there. I was looking beautiful. In a historical chapel, and those cameras were on me, and the eyes of the world were watching me, focusing on me. And I remember just thinking to myself, I'm marrying a prince. And yes, sister, yes, you've done it, girl. You've done it.
No celebrations this year. But, we'd never be able to top the one we actually had, on the wedding day evening. That was a celebration. Oh, it was incredible. In fact, do you remember, Meghan?
Yeah, I remember the party. I mean, how could I forget the party? I mean, I'm standing there, I'm looking at all these famous faces from around the world. I didn't even know them, really, and they certainly didn't know me. But they were there to watch me be stunning and looking at my beautiful body and face, and they were there to celebrate my wedding. Little old me, who came from nowhere. And I remember thinking to myself at that moment,
Oh, don't tell me. Yes, sister. You've done it, girlfriend.
actually, no, Harry. I was going to say that I realized I'd married an amazing man.
Oh, amazing. Oh, really?
No, you're right. I was going to say what you said. You got any more questions?
News has emerged that you finally decided to stop your self-destructive attacks on the royal family.
You think they're innocent, do you?
I didn't say that. It's that every time you do, your popularity decreases.
Popularity isn't really something that I'm bothered about.
Evidently.
It's definitely a mischaracterization, right? To say that we've been launching an attack or launching attacks against the royal family. I mean, nothing's been planned or organized or coordinated.
Yeah, it was guerrilla warfare at best.
The world that we live in is fraught with mistruths and misconceptions.
Fake news.
So it's absolutely essential if you're a respected public figure.
Such as?
Us, Harry, us.
Oh, yes, of course.
If you're a revered public figure, right, and known for standing up against inequalities and just overall being intelligent and beautiful, then the onus is on you to always state what's true and stick by that. Even if it's uncomfortable and inconvenient for some, because that's the only way we're even going to have a chance to heal the world in the future, right?
How noble.
People like my Meghan don't come around too often, They're rarities in nature.
I think most people would go along with that.
My Meghan sees stuff, She sees even more than I do. And I've been proactively borrowing inspiration from around the world, if you follow.
Indeed.
What she sees is a time and a place, a world where everyone finally starts doing as they're told. Where at the moment, she's having trouble even keeping the staff in line.
It's true, and I scream and I shout at them all the time, but all they do is cry. It's, oh my God, and they're still useless.
Yeah, and she fires them too, willy-nilly. The other day, she sacked one of her personal assistants because she looked at her avocado for too long.
Yeah, she was gonna eat it.
Yeah, I know she was, darling. Yeah, well, now she can daydream about avocados all she wants, whilst waiting in the welfare line.
And they still won't do, exactly what I ask.
And I'm not just talking about her staff listening to her, finally. A rebellious bunch of scamps that they are. I'm talking about when the world, the whole world, finally starts listening to my Meghan.
Which is going to happen, one day, but who knows how long we're going to have to wait in the darkness.
Before the light of Meghan, my Meghan, leads us to the promised land.
Yeah, and up until that moment, which we await with bated breath, I've got to keep stating truth, keep stating truth, my truth.
Not the truth.
My truth, right? Because if I don't, then it's going to jeopardize the eventual breakthrough that will come one day on the back of my integrity, my honesty, and my courage.
So you are going to continue bashing the royal family?
They deserve it.
No, I mean, yes, they do deserve it, but no, I'm no longer going to continue on with my holistic, expungement of their consciences. I think I've said enough. I think everyone knows sort of the score now, and now it's up to them to take on board what I've said. What I've shown them.
Well, that doesn't seem likely. Your advice is, of course, vague and manipulative nonsense that considers itself far more profound than it really is, much like the person who offers it.
Yes, but exactly who is that? I hate these kind of riddles.
I'm the only one who spoke. Idiot.
Which I admit narrows it down nicely.
Contrary to the flavour of your recent declaration, many pundits have immediately refuted your claim that you will halt your attacks on the royal family by reference to the fact that it's all you have.
Are you trying to say that we wouldn't be big players on talent alone, Cobalt?
Yes.
Oh, it hurts, but I can't fault your reasoning.
Yeah, we have lots more to offer. Well, I do. Anyway.
But permit me license to play devil's advocate.
Well, because the word advocate sounds very similar to the word avocado, I'm sure that my Meghan will be more than happy.
Yeah.
The entirety of your notoriety is royal family bound. Without them, you're like a phone without a battery, or a car without an engine.
What do you mean?
Completely useless. I mean, there is nothing original, intellectual, or aesthetic conjured up by your irritating interjections into public life. The last remaining vestige of genuine interest is in your thinning filament connections to the royal family. Without them, you'll have to be reliant on your skills and abilities.
So be it.
Yeah, so be it. Are you sure?
You might find that direction proves difficult.
Yeah.
The other interest you've managed to maintain is that of the satirist. Your antics have provided many an entertaining hour of laughter, a dark laughter at the madness of the world that you two so perfectly encapsulate.
Oh, thank you.
Cheers.
You simultaneously hold the wrong view on almost everything. You are childishly bitter in an hilarious way, a hilarity which is based purely on schadenfreude, I'm afraid. You are obnoxiously unaware of your own irrelevance and are comical in your continued need for attention, which is why there is so much interest still in you, but it's not a genuine one. It's a satirical one.
Sorry, are you trying to say that to avoid being only objects of ridicule, that we would resort to bashing the royal family again? Just so we could be taken seriously once more?
Yes.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, obviously, anything to stay in the papers. Oh, no, I won't actually be there because I gotta watch the nannies who are watching my kids.
So, Harry, you're prepared for weeks of courtroom appearances related to yet another battle, this time against the British press, who you accuse of illegally hacking your phone.
Well, as many of you know, what I lack in brains, I make up for in looks and courage. I'm under no illusion, of how difficult this is going to be, and what a mistake it almost definitely is.
Indeed, hence no member of the royal family has appeared in court in person since 1891, and that was the appropriately named Prince of Pleasure, who would go on to become King Edward VII, and that was about cheating in a game of cards. His mother, Victoria, was not best pleased.
Well, Papa always said that these court cases I was pursuing were suicidal, but I always assumed he was being, hypertonic.
No, hyperbolic.
Yes, well, the details aren't important. All I know is that I've got my Meghan by my side 24/7, every day, all year, annually.
Unless you're in the hotel.
And she never stops whispering in my ear and winding me up into a frenzy that media blood alone can quell.
When you say winding you up,
Just, remind me of things that I might have otherwise forgotten or, let go of. Ever since being with Meghan, I've realised that if you want to be in good mental health and remain in good mental health, you have to fight tooth and bone to extract every bit of revenge you can against people who, have upset me or Meghan or have perceived to have upset us.
So why not actively support him then, Meghan?
No, good God, no. I don't want to be part of it. I mean, what if it all goes horribly wrong, right? Like I could be, I don't want to be involved with that. I mean, look what happened with the Spare book. I mean, and that series of painful interviews he did afterwards. Oh my God.
So why keep encouraging him?
Well, it gives him something to do, and that's good. And, it gets him out of the house, which is perfect for me because and I at last get to spend some, proper quality time with some rich people that I don't even know.
Essential, of course.
Yeah, well, you've got to have backups.
Meghan does raise a good point, Harry. This could all go horribly wrong. You're pitting yourself against a high-end, competent barrister, whose aim is to rip your case to shreds. Does that not concern you?
Well, if it's a battle of wits he wants...
Yeah, I wouldn't go down that road, Harry.
Yes, I wouldn't, Harry.
They hacked my phone. I mean, they even hacked into my photos and edited some of the lighting to make me look like I've got silly, thinning ginger hair, And they even completed some of the levels on my brain training word search game. I mean, can you get any lower? Can you get any lower?
But how do you know that? I mean, how can you prove that?
Because I was still stuck on level 1. I don't know how to spell yacht. I mean, where's the O? Where's the O? And what on earth's that H and C and A doing in there? Where's the O?
Yeah, I kept asking me to check that it was the English language version.
Yes, well, I'm still not convinced. That was the video. If you wouldn't mind liking, subscribing, hit the comments and the notification bell. Fabulous. Do it all.